Go. I'm getting the glory.
Go.
Welcome, everyone, to the Phenomenal Wrestling Podcast as we're about to review the results from Takeover Brooklyn 4 as well as SummerSlam this past weekend. Was a very interesting weekend. Takeover had some shockers in there, and so did SummerSlam, to be honest. But we'll get this started right away. Starting with the first match from Takeover.
The first match from Takeover that won't be aired this Wednesday because, quote-unquote pre-show.
Yeah, pre-show.
It opened with, as we all expected, the Undisputed Era versus Mustache Mountain, which is always a great opener. I believe the tag titles with the Undisputed Era are kind of relegated to the opening spot at this point, which is fine because they know how to work good matches and they know how to work a crowd.
They do, and it sets the
tone,
the atmosphere for the rest of the show, too. Because the four of them in that ring together, they have such great chemistry.
Yeah, they put on an astounding match. There was really good storytelling with the drawback to the throwing in the towel, but this time from Trent Seven and him not doing it. And it ended the way we expected it to end.
Yep.
Mustache Mountain losing, Undisputed Era going on. But then we got a surprise. War Raiders decided to show up and crash the party.
Yes, they did. Which I guess that means they're stating claim for those tag titles next.
Well, they already did beforehand.
Yeah, but now they have made a statement for it by attacking Undisputed Era after the victory. Great match, without a doubt. Amazing match. Storytelling, like you said, was there. And it did build the tone for the rest of the show, and I feel like this match is the match that stole the show.
I don't think it stole the show, but it's definitely debatable. It's definitely a debate. And then we move on to the next match, which was moment of the fucking weekend. Velveteen Dream versus EC3. And the moment isn't even in the match.
Call me up, Vince.
It's his fucking tights.
Call me up, Vince. Did you hear Triple H explaining what that was?
Yeah, he had a friend named Vince that lost his number. And he
lost
wants him to call him up.
Yep. And then Vince was like, either way, if it was meant towards Vince, that might not be a call he wants to get. Because it could either be a very good phone call or a very bad phone call.
Keep him in NXT. The main roster will ruin him.
Fact.
But, good match. This was actually my pick for the match that had the potential to be the most underwhelming, wrestling-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Still a very good match.
Yeah.
And the finish came after Velveteen hit, I don't know what he's calling that, the cartwheel.
I don't know.
He had a fireman's carry, cartwheel splash, I'll call it, onto the apron, and hit the purple raindrop.
Something like that.
Something like that onto EC3 while also on the apron and rolled him in for his first takeover victory. And EC3 got busted up at some point. I don't know where it happened, but it was the bridge of his nose.
I feel like it might have been on the turnbuckle.
Only logical.
Yeah, I think that's where it happened. EC3 went after him, and I think that's when he tripped him up and he smashed his face onto the turnbuckle. I think that's exactly when it happened. And then there was a backstage interview later on where his eye was swollen shut. But he said it's not over. His loss to Gargano isn't over. His loss to Velveteen is not over. Anytime he loses doesn't mean it's the end of what's going on.
It's not over until he wins.
Yeah,
Top 1% mindset.
Well, that's the thing. He said being in the top 1% has nothing to do with money or any of that.
It's a mindset.
It's just the mindset of me being the best that I am. And I'm like, all right, EC. All right.
Yeah, he's a great talker.
He is. He's gotten a lot better from what he used to be.
Derek Bateman, of course, he's gotten better. That's why he's in this position.
Fact.
So then we had the next match, which this was my match of the night.
Really?
Ricochet and Adam Cole.
See, I feel like it wasn't. It was between the tag match and Johnny Gargano and Ciampa.
I don't even count Johnny Gargano and Ciampa. We knew what was going to happen. That just doesn't count for me. For me, it's unfair to the rest of the card to group that. Because we knew what we were going to get.
Yeah, we did. But I feel like this match should have been a lot better than it actually was.
I absolutely loved this match. The spots they put up, Ricochet taking a super kick in the middle of a fucking moonsault.
That, yeah. You know what that kind of reminded me of?
Uh-huh.
Fucking, Shelton Benjamin's springboard super kick.
No, Shelton actually got knocked out in that super kick.
He did.
This did not make me think of that. This made me think of even worse, because if this went wrong, that was Ricochet's entire neck.
Yeah, he was upside down when he got connected with that super kick.
But, no, this is a lot of great action, and the reason it is match of the night for me is because of the swerve, with Ricochet winning the North American Championship. I did not see them taking that belt off Adam Cole for at least another not the next takeover, but the takeover after.
So, would be Rumble?
Rumble weekend.
Yeah, Rumble.
I did not see that happening whatsoever. So a great match on top of that. That sells it for me.
Yeah, that definitely... It was a really good match. All the spots were great. And they definitely swerved us. Like, part of me was like, Ricochet could do it, but I didn't... Same thing. I didn't think they were going to be dropping that title from him. But who knows? Maybe this is him going to the main event now.
Oh, totally. Totally. And I'll explain why when we get there. And then the next match, Kairi Sane winning the Women's Championship from Shayna Baszler. Another surprise.
See, this one pissed me off.
Because the one time you pick Shayna, she loses.
Yep.
So this is your fault.
Kairi, I was dead set on Kairi the entire time. And then the last week or so, I'm like, maybe they're going to keep it on Shayna. Because I was listening to like other podcasts and stuff like that. And they brought up a great point that as much as I fucking hate Shayna, without a doubt, hate her, but she has definitely gotten much better on the mic and in the ring to an extent. But her mic skills have definitely gotten better. And the points that they were making in those podcasts is that would be a great chance for her to go into Evolution as the champion and then lose it at Evolution. Because they don't want a champ that has a language barrier.
Really just don't like Shayna because she beat Ember Moon.
Yeah, well, that's besides the point.
No, that's the entire point.
That is the entire point. But now it looks like she's coming up to the main roster is what they're saying.
Her and EC3.
And EC3.
And then we got the brutal last man standing match, which was flawless.
Yes.
All the spots, the chairs, the peeling off of the mat, the double table, but the table flipped to the other side. I honestly sat there with Nell and I was like, somebody's getting an air raid crash to that table. And then Tommaso set him up, and then Johnny set him up, and I was like, it's gonna happen, and then he got super kicked.
Yep.
Fell through the table. I was close, but... And then the match came to an end when Johnny basically had the match won and decided it wasn't enough. He went for a running knee, as Ciampa did to him, hit Ciampa, went through Ciampa, kneed a crate, and flew over the crate. And then, at the count of 9, Tommaso rolled off the stage he was on and landed on his feet. I told Nell that was what exactly was going to happen, and Johnny couldn't get up because of his knee. Tommaso wins, and at this point, Johnny's done. I don't see why he would face Tommaso again. He lost clean. He lost because of himself.
See, and unfortunately, during that spot, Johnny got hurt.
Well, yeah, there's a fucking crate in front of you. What did you expect?
Yeah, he got hurt, and they haven't released any details on the injury, but Triple H said he thinks his knee was dislocated.
Yeah, because Mauro was quick to say that.
Yeah. So this is a good way to write him off TV for a while, even if it's not a real injury. This is a good way to write him off TV, and then him come back, say 6 months, and then start getting back to where he wants to be, and say Takeover 5 at WrestleMania weekend, he finally takes that brass ring from Ciampa.
Takeover 5 at WrestleMania weekend?
Brooklyn 5. Takeover 5, Brooklyn 5, whatever.
There's a difference. Takeover 5 was a long time ago.
Yeah, but Brooklyn 5, I can see him coming back and taking the title from Ciampa.
Depending on what they do. I don't know. He lost clean. I can see him going away for a while. But even then, him coming back into the picture, it's like, what else can you do? What else can you do other than an I Quit match? And at that point, it's like, that has to be the literal end.
Best out of 2-3 falls.
Best out of 3 falls?
2 out of 3 falls. 2-3 falls. It's the Michael Jordan falls.
2-3 falls. So is that like 2 sets of 3 falls?
That could also work.
Yeah. And we move on from an astounding takeover to what I felt was actually one of the better SummerSlams. I actually thoroughly enjoyed this SummerSlam. To a point at the end.
I did up until about the last
10 minutes. Because that's what got me. The last 10 minutes.
Yeah. Like the last... Yeah. Because I thought it was very good, and they kicked off... Well, let's also get into the fact that after TakeOver, with our point system that we have set up for our predictions, me and Nell were at 1 apiece, and you were at 0. Oh, no.
Well, no.
Yeah.
I was down 1 from you guys.
Yeah, down 1 from us. And it was coming down because I was listening back to the podcast, and they were like, oh, no. Nell mentioned how we had 3 differences, so we couldn't tie.
Yeah.
We didn't factor in that it was
one of
3
our
options here.
Yeah, because you said a draw.
Which, that was the pick. I wanted to change my pick.
That was the one you wanted to change?
After we recorded, I thought I wanted to change the pick to Ciampa. And I wasn't allowed to do so.
Because we said once we're done, we're done.
I feel like we need to incorporate something where we can change picks up until Saturday.
Picks are locked. Once
Damn
they're
it!
done, they're locked.
God damn it. Well, at that point, the only difference from Zel and I on the SummerSlam card
It was Brock and Roman.
Brock and Roman. And we're not even going to get into Nell's differences because this man...
He picked crazy, but that was good. Because if it worked, it worked.
But I knew it wasn't going to work. So he was like, these picks aren't Eric. Remember that him saying that? This is Old Nelson, he said. But yet, Old Nelson still hasn't won a prediction.
See, with the swerves that we got at TakeOver, I was like, he actually could get a couple things. He actually might be able to pull this off if they're swerving us like this Saturday. I don't know what we're going to get Sunday. But it didn't work.
No. They did swerve us with one thing. And that was what actually started off the show with Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler.
Pre-show.
Pre-show.
Pre-show, we had Andrade and Zelina versus Rusev and Lana. Aiden was told to stay backstage, which he did. It was an okay match. It wasn't as great as it could be with just a single one-on-one with Rusev and Andrade. But it was what it was for what it is. By rolling Lana up after the almost distraction, by just barely getting her feet on the ropes because she is very small and could not reach.
Yeah. See, if they really want to end this whole Rusev thing with Aiden, the perfect thing that they could have done there was actually have Aiden come out and purposely cost Rusev this time.
Yeah, that's what we all thought was going to happen, but apparently not.
Nope.
Still going on. We then had a good match between Cedric Alexander and Drew Gulak for the Cruiserweight Championship with the Brian Kendrick and Gentleman Jack Gallagher banned from ringside. And this was another almost botched finish with a roll-up. Because it was roll-up, into roll-up, into roll-up, and into that either the last roll-up or the roll-up before Cedric's last roll-up, he had to physically try to pull Drew Gulak over to him, and he just couldn't grab him. So Drew Gulak was kind of on the mat for a minute while Cedric's like, come on. And then either that was the last roll-up or there was another set of roll-ups, and then Cedric went off the roll-up.
Jesus.
It was a good match. The finish was just a little bit botched. Again.
That's the pre-show.
Not yet.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because there was the B-Team and the
B-Team and the Revival, which, once again, good match. This one wasn't botched, but it ended with a roll-up. For the third match in a row.
No, you don't say.
The match came to an end when Wilder was in the ring with Curtis Axel. Dawson came up for the distraction, and Bo Dallas ran to get him down. Wilder rolled up Axel. Bo got knocked back and went over Wilder and Axel and rolled them over so Axel was on top. After there was already a 3 count with the ref not seeing it. Ref counted 3 and the B team retained.
Jesus. I'm glad I missed the pre-show because I felt like I would have been very disappointed.
Good matches, just the way they ended.
Yeah.
And then we got the opener, which I'm really not surprised. I figured this match could go first or a couple in. And that was the deciding factor with me. Like, if this match goes first, me picking Ziggler, I'm fucked. If not, though, I'm good.
Yep.
And it went first. I figured it was either that or the New Day and the Bludgeons.
Yeah. Which, for me, this was the match on the card that stole the show. Once again, Seth and Dolph are so great in the ring together. The chemistry that they have in that ring together. And the wrestling was just on point especially when Seth hit that inverted superplex off the top rope.
I called it. I was like, has he ever done an inverted superplex into an inverted Falcon Arrow? I don't think so. I don't think he can do that. And then he did it, and I was like, oh.
He did.
Well, good.
See, it was just, I was like, wow. It was so clean, too. And it stole the show for me. And Nell was like, oh, you're just saying that because you're biased. I'm like, how? I'm like, it was without a doubt the best match on the card. He was also bashing the AJ Joe match, which we'll get to later. But for him, the best match on the card was Shinsuke and Jeff.
Definitely was not the best match on the card. It was a fun match.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was the best.
Like, for me, that's a match that you would watch at a live event.
I swore you were going to say he said Roman and Brock, and I was going to be like, get him out of here. Get him off this podcast now. No, it was definitely a fun match. I could see it at a pay-per-view. Like, don't get me wrong. It was good. Pay-per-view worthy, but not, like, show stealer. Like, the spot they put it in, that's all it could be.
Yeah.
But, no, Seth and Dolph, you're right. It was a really good match. I do know what he's saying by you're biased, because whenever it's Seth Rollins, you shit your pants. I get why, but at the same time, you literally hate Shayna Baszler because she beat Ember Moon.
Yeah, but I don't like her in the ring, though. That's the thing. It's not a biased thing per se, to 100%. Yeah, I'm pissed that she beat Ember Moon. She didn't deserve to beat Ember Moon. When you had people like Kairi Sane, Nikki Cross, who couldn't beat Ember Moon, but yet Shayna Baszler does. She didn't earn that opportunity.
I think for what Shayna is, I actually really have liked what Shayna's become. In the beginning, when she first started, I was like, she's alright, I can see what she could do. And then the takeover match with Ember when she beat her at New Orleans, that's when I was like, alright, I could see Shayna running with this. Because her character and how she conducts herself in the ring is not what NXT has. NXT doesn't have that one character that's, one, a badass, and two, makes it look like she's literally breaking you. Because some of her spots make me like...
They do, but at the same time, I don't know. I can't get behind Shayna Baszler, and I couldn't get behind her being champion.
It all falls back to Ember.
Because there are other deserving people. Even Peyton Royce. I love Peyton. Not like you love Peyton. Because the second I say I love Peyton, you give me that look like, oh, bitch, she's mine. You best back the fuck up.
It's alright. Meltzer's still number 1 on my hit list.
Who's number 2? Is
Ty
it Ty?
Because he didn't come to her defense.
Maybe he didn't have to.
Maybe he was with her and he was like, baby, it's okay. But until that's proven, damn it, you're a terrible boyfriend.
She was probably doming him up.
Doubt that.
6 stars.
She was probably like, Dave called me fat. I can't think about dome right now, because why the fuck would she be thinking about that?
You never know.
I'm sure Emperor's thinking about dome and her man's right now.
What man's?
Or her woman's.
What woman's?
You don't know. But Seth and Dolph. It was a great match. I could see the argument of that being match of the night. But we as we know, there are 2 different styles that we like.
I see what you did there.
That was not intentional. There are 2 different styles that we like when it comes to in-ring work. I love Seth Rollins' work, but what made match of the night for me, we will get to, and you will know it. You already know exactly why it was match of the night for me. Because Jesus fucking Christ.
For me, that was number 2. That was number 2 because of...
That. Well, we'll get there, because the next match is The New Day versus the Bludgeon Brothers. This was the best match of the Harper and Rowan being branded as the Bludgeon Brothers, because we know they can go.
Yes.
But when you're booked as monsters, you can't really
you actually
go.
See, and this is something came out of this as well.
What did he tear?
They don't know yet, but they think it's a bicep.
That's what I heard. It was a bicep. It was the bicep. Rowan tore his bicep. But on SmackDown, they have a no DQ tag match for the titles, so this is probably their way of getting the titles off the Bludgeons, so Rowan can heal up.
Wait, but the messed up thing is it's a no DQ match. You're risking him injuring that shoulder more now.
Well, they can't just have another match after they won by DQ. That's not how Paige does things on SmackDown. I get they're risking it, but how many wrestlers go on wrestling injured until they can get surgery? Wrestlers go on for like weeks at a time.
But this is a different injury. This is the same injury that I think Dean had with the torn bicep. Or was he a torn bicep or was he a labrum?
Labrum.
Yeah, so
I get it, but I'm sure they have the match constructed in a way that he'll be fine.
Yeah, hopefully, because that worries me a bit. But first time they actually showcase of what they can do, and Eric Rowan gets hurt.
Also, before we move on, did you realize who the New Day were dressed up as?
No.
It took me a minute to figure it out, and then I noticed on Kofi's tights, a ring. A Sonic the Hedgehog ring. Kofi was Sonic, running around the outside. Xavier was Tails, flying everywhere. And Big E was Knuckles. Do I need to explain that one? And once it hit me, I was like, oh my fucking god, this is great.
I want to know who designs their freaking costumes.
I'm pretty sure Xavier's just like, I want costumes inspired by that. It threw me off with Xavier at first, because he had the yellow, the orange, and the blue, and I was like, what the fuck is Xavier? Is this like a team or something? But once I saw the ring on Kofi, I was like,
it's Sonic.
He was rolling around at the speed of sound.
I think Mikaze has a ton to do.
Well, he does do the design, so definitely.
Yeah. Which, if none of you guys know who Mikaze is, it's Sasha Banks' husband, and he's also a big person in Up, Up, Down, Down.
So then we got Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens with the Money in the Bank contract on the line. This was a squash match.
Yes.
I expected a match and Braun to win. I did not expect a squash. I was disappointed.
See, the way they built it up, that's why I ended up going with Braun in the end, was because they literally just had KO getting the upper hand, causing him to get counted out, DQ'd over and over, and that's why I was like, Yeah, they're keeping this on Braun.
I already knew they were keeping it on Braun, but I thought they would make it, like, you know, KO trying to be a little shit the entire match.
See, that's what I thought, but Braun was not having any of it. I figured KO... I was torn because I really thought KO could have pulled it off. But now, after what happened, it's like, what's next for KO?
Nothing. Literally nothing. And then we got to another really good match, the SmackDown Women's title match between Becky, Carmella, and Charlotte. This is how Carmella should have been this entire reign. A sneaky little devil who tries to get the upper hand at everything. This is the best she's looked. Yeah. And this is the end of her title reign.
I think she looked so good is because she was in the ring with two people who have such great chemistry together in that ring, and they were able to help her out throughout the match as well.
She was in the ring with Asuka.
Yes, but...
She was in the ring with Charlotte before. And they booked her as not getting the upper hand, but hanging with Charlotte.
She wasn't really hanging. She got lucky.
She was booked as, throughout the match, not the finish, her hanging with Charlotte. This is how she should be booked.
Yes. And there's, like I said, I think they were able to help her out through that match a lot with Becky and Charlotte together. And it was the ending that I loved every minute of it.
Yep. Charlotte ended up getting the win off a natural selection onto Becky, who had the disarm her in. We talked about some kind of fuckery with a finish of a disarmer or a figure eight.
Yeah.
And we got it. So they hug it out, and then Becky slaps the dog shit out of Charlotte, beats her a little bit, and then leaves. And Charlotte is sitting down, crying, saying, "I'm fine."
Yep. And then there was a backstage segment after she won. WWE exclusive where they were interviewing her, asking how she feels, and she was like, honestly, what my dad told me was if I can leave at the end, once I'm done with 5 friends, then you did something right.
Now she has 4.
I have 4. And I'm like, 4? With 4, you got Sasha, Bayley,
Natty, Paige.
Is it Paige?
I think it's Paige.
We hope it's Paige.
I think it's Paige.
Because Natty's friends with everyone.
Yeah. Until she goes heel again.
Yeah.
We then got my match of the night. Samoa Joe and AJ Styles. And they crafted this like an AJ and Joe match where it starts off slow and it ramps it up slowly but surely and then it gets there.
Yes.
This was a great match of storytelling with AJ's fury and Joe's mindfuckery. And before the match started, Joe grabbed the microphone and he pointed out that Wendy Styles and AJ's daughter Anna was in the crowd.
Yeah.
I think they said Anna. And Joe said, "Don't worry, after tonight, you'll have your daddy back." AJ grabbed the mic and basically told Joe, "They're here to watch me kick your ass." Match ensues. What you expect from AJ and Joe. Hard-hitting match. And then Joe whips AJ into the stairs, which busted him open.
Yeah.
And Joe's standing on top of a table. And he grabs the microphone and he said, "Wendy, I promised you your husband would be home tonight."
No, your daddy would be home tonight.
"I promised I'd send Daddy home tonight, but it looks like I broke my promise. He's in no condition to go home. But don't worry, I'll be your new daddy." And AJ lost his fucking mind. The face he made was, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And he tackled Joe off the table, through the timekeeper's little side barrier, grabbed a chair, and beat the shit out of Joe. I don't blame him for beating the shit out of Joe. Because imagine being in that situation.
I laughed so hard. Because I was at work watching it on my phone. And when that came on, I just busted out laughing when Joe said that.
My jaw just dropped. I was like,
I was like, oh shit. Oh my god.
AJ lost it. Samoa Joe won by DQ. AJ retains. And then it cuts to Wendy telling AJ just to stop. Just stop it. He's done enough. And he comes over and he's like, "I'm sorry, I got carried away." And you can hear his daughter like, Daddy's bleeding.
Yeah.
And he like picks her up and he holds her for a minute and then she just reaches right back for her mother. This better be in a fucking Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
At Hell in a Cell. Because these two in a Hell in a Cell, oh my Jesus.
And that's the thing. I loved this match. It didn't top the Seth match for me, unfortunately. But the storytelling that was there, the mouthpieces were there for both of them. The wrestling was there for both. And Nell hated it.
Why did he hate it? Did
he said
say
it was all holds.
Oh my God. It started with holds. Slow start, sir. That's how AJ does a lot of things.
I probably in his mind, because I was like flipping out over the main event.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to that later. And he was defending it. I'm like, what?
What?
Yeah.
We'll get there. We will get there. But like I said, this better be in a Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Better be a Hell in a Cell. Next match, which was actually the longest match on the card. The Miz versus Daniel Bryan.
Oof.
This was a match of storytelling. One would go for one's move, the other would go for the move that either Miz stole or Miz just tried to use.
Mm-hmm.
It was a decent match. I don't mind that this did not live up to the hype for me because this is not over.
This
has to, same thing. Slow start, but this is just a whole slow match start. It was a good match, but it was not what we expected, and it's slowly going to ramp up until hopefully Mania, if they tell this story right, when Daniel Bryan finally wins.
Yes.
I don't think they're now going to go with the Miz somehow getting the title and then Daniel Bryan winning the Rumble. Maybe they will.
I would love that.
That would just add to it, but I don't know if they're going to do that. I really don't know who the fuck, if not Joe, is going to beat AJ.
I think Joe's beating AJ.
Because I've said before, after SummerSlam, that title reign becomes, oh God, I don't know when.
Yeah, and I think Joe's going to beat AJ, maybe even at Hell in a Cell.
Very well could be
now
Joe.
that cutoff for 2K is passed.
It wasn't even the cutoff for 2K for me that made me think it. It was, this is about the time in that reign where anything can happen.
See, for me, I think it was the cutoff. I think they wanted AJ to have the title in the game as well because he's the cover star. So I felt like they were going to do anything. And they wrote it perfectly if that's the case, too. Like, I feel like AJ and Joe had their hands in this all the way. Because this doesn't reek of Vince.
Also, the TNA chants were great.
Yeah, they were. TNA. I want a triple threat match.
AJ, Joe, and
Eric Young.
That'd be interesting. Don't see it, but that'd be interesting. Because Sanity is an afterthought on SmackDown.
Who's Sanity?
Exactly. But The Miz and Daniel Bryan, the match came to a finish when The Miz got brass knucks from Maurice and decked Daniel Bryan as he was going to do a tope suicida and pinned him.
Yep.
I expected a finish like this. I'm upset, but I expected it, so I can't really be that upset.
And then it was earlier in the night.
With The Miz and the B team. It was right before the match. The Miz is like, my former Miztourage, if you want to celebrate with me, you can get my limo and we'll do this. And the B team's like, we actually just want to see him shut you up.
Because we're the B team, and the B stands for
Daniel Bryan.
And we hope he beats you.
And we're actually working on this new show. It's called Total Fellas, but with a B. So Total Bellas. I was like, it's reasons like this why I can't hate them, but fuck, they shouldn't be tag team champions.
I'm all for it. You're probably going to want to hit me for this. But with how funny they are, you know who they remind me of?
Give me a second to collect myself so I don't hit you. Because I know where this is going. Who do they remind you of?
The Miz and Sandow.
It's not where I thought this was going.
You thought I was going with Triple H and Shawn Michaels?
No.
What'd you think?
Either A, The Golden Truth, or B, The New Day. And I was going to be like, sir, I swear to God, if you say The New Day.
No, like, they were, just their comedy is the Miz. Comedy is Miz and Sandow. Sandow made that tag team.
So it looks like The Miz did make the Miz Taraj. I mean, the B team. B team, get a new fucking song!
It's so catchy, though.
It's so annoying.
B team, go, go, go. B team, go, go, go.
So next, we got the shortest match on the card, and this might actually have been the biggest surprise. Constable Corbin versus the Demon
King.
Finn Balor. Nobody saw this coming.
No.
And Finn whooped that ass.
Yes, he did. Corbin didn't get any hits in, no offense.
Nope.
He ran.
Even with Braun Strowman, Kevin Owens got a super kick that just pissed Braun off.
Yes.
But Corbin got no offense. Graves is saying, Corbin wasn't ready. Corbin didn't prepare for this.
It's because it's his best friend, and he's going to defend Corbin, even though Corbin's a jackass.
But Finn squashed Corbin. End of the feud. End of the feud. There's nothing you can come back from with a squash.
I fucking hope so. I really hope so. And then I think that's when they went backstage after that, and it was Renee Young with Nikki and Brie Bella who were at the show.
Yep, and they were there to see Ronda Rousey make history.
And I was like, oh no. Are they going to get involved?
They'll be involved at Evolution.
Yep, because it's already been confirmed. Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella, most likely.
I've heard that rumor, not that confirmation. The only confirmation I've heard is Alexa and Trish. Everything else has been speculation.
Well, I think it was on Raw that they were even saying it on Raw that it's going to be Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey. But everything is speculated to change.
So then we got Nell's favorite match, Shinsuke versus Jeff, which was a good match, as we were talking about earlier. It was a fun match. Shinsuke hitting Jeff with a come on, and then Jeff got his own offense, started doing a lot of Shinsuke stuff with his hands, which is really funny.
Yeah.
And then he hit Jeff with the... Jeff hit Shinsuke with the come on, and Shinsuke was furious. Great match. For somebody who's supposed to be taking time off eventually to heal, a missed swanton onto the apron is not...
Taking time to heal for what? You're back.
I don't know if you heard me, but when I was watching it on Monday, I got to that part, I was like, oh! Oh, God! Oh! I actually screamed. I was like, why?
I didn't. I was probably watching The Flash.
Probably. But I shouted rather loud. I was just like, oh, Jeff!
Yeah, the ow. All the ow.
Jeff hit a swanton, Shinsuke grabbed the ropes at the last second. He almost couldn't reach the ropes. Almost. Yeah. But, it ended with a Kinshasa, of course. No Randy Orton interference. Randy came out after the match. Walked up to the ring, started getting in, paused, said nope, and then just left. I don't know what he's doing, but I like it.
Mind games.
Heel Randy.
Love heel Randy.
Heel Randy is best Randy.
Even though he puts his hands down his pants in...
Hey. Allegedly.
Allegedly puts his hands on his dick and tries to make people shake him.
Until we get that confirmation, it's allegedly.
I wonder how... I have not been... Because he was one of the 3 meetings Vince had. And I have not seen any information...
On any of these
on
meetings.
that.
Who was the 3rd meeting? Brock, Randy, and... DB. All right.
And apparently there was a 4th that I found out yesterday with Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Dolph had a meeting.
And...
There's no word on anything.
There is on Dolph. He turned down a contract offer. So that could be why he dropped the Intercontinental title.
Because he already said beforehand, he was like, I've signed a contract, I haven't signed a contract, that's all I've heard all year. After SummerSlam, we'll figure it out. You guys will have more of an idea of what's going on, is what he said.
And now it's been released, he turned down a contract from them.
But it's been released with so many things. He signed a contract, he didn't sign a contract, he signed an extension, so I don't believe anything anymore.
But with him dropping the title back to Seth, after holding it for, what, a month? 2 months?
Something like that. We also forgot to talk about how Seth came out as Thanos.
Yes.
With his infinity boot.
Yep. Did you? Oh, and Dolph actually posted a picture on Twitter after he got curb stomped of him pixelating away.
Ah, that's funny. We then got to basically the end of the show. The squash match between Ronda Rousey with Natalya. Happy to see Natalya wearing her dad's jacket.
Yes, and right before that, there was the backstage segment with DB in the medical trainer's room with the ice pack. And he was like, I knew he was gonna... He was furious.
Yeah, and Brie was like, baby, and he was like, leave me alone, bitch.
Yeah, he basically said, just go enjoy the rest of the show.
Yeah, he said, I need some time.
So she left to ringside, like, in the crowd.
Yeah. To watch Ronda whoop Alexa's ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
That double jointed thing came in handy for Alexa because
it looked so bad.
Yup.
She's so lucky she's double jointed.
Because she can do things like that. I was just like, oh no, we're not doing this again. It's not as bad as Jeff's ear, but oh no.
Ooh.
Oh, Jeff's ear.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how upset that still made me until I talked about it.
Oh god, his poor ear.
But obviously, Ronda won with an armbar in 4 minutes. And your new Raw Women's Champion, Ronda Rousey.
Yep.
I'm not mad that she's champion, although this was her... It's a squash match. You can't really rate it. But in my opinion, this is my least favorite of her 4 matches.
Yeah, because it was a squash. And not only that, they screwed up. I think it was either at SummerSlam or on Raw. It was after she had already won the title. They said that she won the title in her first opportunity, getting a shot at it. It's like...
This is her second.
Morrow kept screwing up on TakeOver with calling people the wrong name.
It was an interesting weekend.
It was, and then Michael Cole kept screwing up
because
at
he's Michael
SummerSlam.
Cole.
And I think Corey screwed up a couple times too.
A grave mistake.
No.
Yeah, shout out to Ross.
No.
Shout out to Ross Twiddell. It's a grave mistake. He's not wrong.
I hate you.
It's not like John O'Clock. We don't have that anymore. Thank God. We then got to the main event. You have feelings. So we're going to do this like we do with every Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar main event. I'm going to go, and then I'm going to let you go. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So, of course, Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman came out, and Paul Heyman did his normal, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. And before the match got underway, Braun Strowman came out, cut a promo, saying, I'm not going to cash this in like a coward when you're not expecting it.
I thought it was going to be a triple threat.
I thought so at first, too. He said, I'm going to cash this in after this match is over, and it doesn't matter who wins, one of you is going to get these hands. So Braun stood at ringside for this match. The bell rang. Roman hit a Superman punch. Roman hit another Superman punch. Roman hit another Superman punch. Roman got locked in a guillotine. Roman picked Brock up and got out of that guillotine by slamming him. Roman got put into another guillotine. Roman picked him up and slammed him again. I think Roman hit another Superman. Nope. Roman went for a Superman punch and then started getting suplexed.
Yep.
Roman went for a spear. Brock sidestepped, and Roman went through the ropes and speared Braun. Brock went outside, hit Braun with an F5, put Roman back in the ring, proceeded to beat Braun with the briefcase, proceeded to beat Braun with a chair, went back in the ring, Brock got speared, 1, 2, 3, Roman wins. And that happened in 10 minutes. And I'm pretty sure the bell rang, and then Braun came out. So all that is included in the 10 minutes.
Yep.
This was a fast match. This was a hard-hitting match. Nothing happened.
No. Literally, I sent this to Nell.
Well, before you get there, so Roman Reigns wins because Brock threw the briefcase all the way up the ramp. Braun did not cash in, so we go off the air with Roman as champ, and it has been said that they went off the air quick, so the fans at home did not see how pissed the fans in the stadium were, because after a while they realized, wait, Braun's not cashing in.
Yep.
So, overall, I actually really enjoyed this pay-per-view.
Up until the end.
Did not enjoy the squash of Alexa Bliss so much, because there really wasn't much to it. Alexa getting her comeuppance is great, but if this was Alexa holding the title past Mania till now, it would have been good. But she already got her comeuppance. She lost to Nia Jax. The main event, I didn't care for it. It was fast, it was hard hitting, but like we talked about before, we like different things when it comes to wrestling.
Yes.
You like a lot of you like a lot more of hard hitting ring work that builds to something. I like a lot more storytelling ring work that builds to something, and apparently Nell likes fast, hard hitting matches.
No, he just likes big, sweaty Samoan men.
Well, I said my things. You, sir, can now proceed with your stuff.
So, he was like, it all started. I was like, very interesting pay-per-view, other than the main event. He said, don't be salty. The least expected happened. I'm more than happy. I was like, it was an absolutely terrible main event, dude. He was like, yeah, and Lesnar doesn't fucking deserve it. Good riddance to the piece of shit. I was like, 4 spears, 3 Superman punches, and
4 German suplexes?
2.
2?
2 German suplexes.
I'm pretty sure you hit him with 3.
It was 2 and 2 guillotines. That's the only offense Brock got in, because then Roman went for that other spear.
Hit Braun.
Hit Braun, and then Brock went outside.
And beat Braun.
Came back in, and got speared.
Yep.
That was the end. It's like, you're fucking kidding me. Great build-up for the show, just to... This should have been over at Mania. This should have been over at Mania. That was a much better match than what this piece of shit was.
And as I've been saying, and as was heavily pointed out on Raw, it's not Roman's fault that all these matches suck. It's Brock's fault, because Brock doesn't want to do anything. Roman and Finn put on one hell of a match on Monday.
Finn carried him through that match, though. But even then, they did put on a great match. But that's another thing that pissed me off. Yeah, Roman finally got the title, but they made him look weak in getting that title by him winning off a distraction, essentially.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either. If Roman was going to win, he should have won just by winning. But that was their way of saving their own asses, because they knew people weren't going to receive it well.
Yeah, it's just... Why? Like... You prevented the cash-in. No, literally, I read it was going to be a last-minute decision of whether Roman won, Brock retained, or there was a cash-in, based off the fans. The match was started for, 3 minutes, and all you could hear from the crowd was, "You both suck."
Yep. I'm pretty sure they were like, oh, the fans had a good enough night, we can put Roman over. But we're going to have Braun out there, so they still think there's going to be a cash-in for a little while, and then there's just not.
Yeah. Because then on Raw, it was a shit show. The crowd was pissed too on Monday.
Well, we'll save that for a different review.
Yep.
Because apparently things happened on Monday.
A lot of things happened on Monday.
But that was SummerSlam and NxT Takeover Brooklyn. All in all, this entire weekend grouped together, I'd give it a B+. I thoroughly enjoyed this weekend.
I did too, and I think this was probably one of the best takeovers. If it's probably like top 1-2 with me.
One of the best takeovers and one of the best SummerSlams. The only thing that could have put it up in the A bracket for me was a good main event.
Yes.
Sorry, but I don't like that kind of kind of match. I don't like the fast, hard hitting, because that's what you get with every Brock match. It's one thing if it happens every now and again.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit, that was a surprise. But it's every 3 months, 3-4 months. Every time you see Brock, that's how it happens.
Yep.
I'm not putting it on Roman. It's Brock.
It is. It's not just Brock either. It's Vince and Brock.
It's Vince and Brock. Of course it's Vince and Brock. Whenever you put something on somebody, it's always Vince implied.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, the wrestling guy, I put it on Brock. Brock doesn't want to do anything.
And to be honest, I would have rather them kept the title on Brock now. After the way that main event was. You made him look weak as shit.
I'm happy the title's off Braun.
I'm happy the title's off of him.
Braun.
Braun.
Too many B's.
How dare you?
They're both BR.
Braun didn't even get a shot.
They're both Brr and Burr.
Just why can't Vince just die already?
Jesus fucking Christ. Well, now that the title is off Brock, we'll be getting good title matches again.
I don't think we'll be getting good title matches again, but
Roman can work.
He
Just like how everybody's like, Cena can't wrestle, Cena can wrestle.
Oh, Cena can Cena can wrestle, but that's the difference between Cena and Roman. Roman no sell shit a lot of the time, and that was another thing that he brought up. He was like, Cena. What about Cena? I was like, Cena's actually really good in the ring. People were just pissed that Cena was the face of the company, and
you being one of them.
I was, but I didn't hate Cena that much. I hate Roman a lot more than I hate Cena.
Literally, because I would say Cena and you'd be like, Jesus fucking Christ, I hate this guy.
Yes, but I hate Roman more because Cena's a lot better than what Roman is in the ring and on the mic. Cena's probably one of the best in the history on the mic.
Cena's way too good on the mic.
Way too good.
The fact when it came out when Cena was like, what I do is, I give them ammunition, I say whatever you want, and if they don't use it, well, sucks for them, I'm gonna go out there and murder them.
And he did. Multiple times.
He did it to Miz, he did it to AJ.
AJ did get a couple of good punches on him.
AJ was up there, but still, like, Cena lulls. Cena kills you lulls. The Miz got it the worst, though.
Yeah, I don't think... I can't remember. We haven't seen a Joe Cena.
No, we haven't. Never happened.
Oh, I want that.
I'll take that for Mania. Because they were gonna push for that at one point, but then either Joe got hurt or that's when Cena got hurt.
Yeah.
Joe, I think it was.
I think it was Joe. But I want to see Joe and Cena in a segment for the WWE title, maybe.
That'd be amazing. And Cena can break the record.
Or not break the record.
He'll break the record. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this episode of the Phenomenal Wrestling Podcast and our SummerSlam Weekend Review. You have Synyster here. I am Zel.
Who is still champion, by the way. We forgot to get into that, actually.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Nell finished with a 7, and me and Synyster both finished with a 10. Due to champion's advantage, he retains the title.
So, Kid Limbo for wanting the reign of the king to end, and Zel, who's climbing the top, well, meet Johnny Gargano of our podcast, who just can't win that big match. That big opportunity.
That means I get to fuck Candice?
No. Candice fucks you.
Oddly enough, I'd be fine with that.
Wait, what? Well then. Is she, like, lubing it up first, or is she going in dry?
Oh, no, she's just on top. She's just riding.
No, she's fucking... You're being pegged by Candice.
Nah, ain't no pegging.
Anywho.
I got, like, a seal on that door.
She broke the seal.
No such thing.
She broke down the third wall.
That's what chastity belts are for, sir.
Anywho, I am still the damn champion here.
You're the champ. We'll get more into this on our actual weekly review when we have all parties present.
Assuming we have all parties present.
Because I'm still so mad that we tied. I'd rather have had 7 points. Like, I'd rather... It's harder losing a close fight than it is getting blown out to me. So that's why when it came down to, there's only one match and you can tie, I was more upset than actually being able to lose.
I loved every minute of it. But I'm in the same boat. I would have much rather won the right way than to win by retaining through a tie. That's why you didn't see it, but I felt like I deserved a bonus point because you had brought it up during our prediction podcast when I said Becky's eating the pin, and I was getting my point across, like why I thought that was happening, and you were like, is that going to be a bonus point? But I didn't come back to it because I wanted to finish getting my point out, and then Nelson interrupted, then you went on with yours, and I had forgot to bring it back up.
So it never got brought back, wow.
So I was cheated out of an extra point, possibly.
He did clarify. Any other bonus?
He didn't. I went back and listened. He didn't. He did not clarify that. He asked you. He was like, I just want to clarify. You're not calling it cash-in. And I went back and listened. Because he was like, I said it right at the end. And I'm like, no, you clarified if he was calling it cash-in or not.
Well.
That son of a bitch.
See, this is why the more prepared you come in, the more you don't forget shit like that.
I was fully prepared. I didn't think of making that a bonus point until you brought it up. And I'm like, that's a good idea. And then it slipped my mind because of the fuckery that was going on.
Always gotta stay on your toes when it's three of us.
Because he was butthurt that I switched up my picks. Had I not, you would be champion.
Well, we switched up a few picks.
Yeah, but had I... Actually, no.
Because we both would have said Charlotte. Fuck.
We both would have said Charlotte.
What else? What else switched? He said there was something else you switched on.
I switched. By taking Shayna. I had Kyrie.
So that would have put you over.
And I would have picked Seth.
Yeah, so you definitely would have won then if you didn't switch up your picks.
And I would have kept Roman, so yeah. I would have won in a landslide.
See?
But that him saying I was a coward nearly screwed me in my picking. Saying I picked like him, but yet he still hasn't won. And he's finally in the losing column. After never losing, only tying on multiple occasions. He finally loses. And you are the only person on this podcast who can't win. You're not here right now to defend yourself. I'll give you that opportunity come our podcast later in the week. But you, sir, are nothing when it comes to predicting. You'll never hold that title. And unfortunately, poor Zel here is still in the back, trying to climb, but he just can't win because his one win was also a fluke.
What I'm going to say is, I will win again. I will. It may take a while because I have to bounce back from tying, because that is the worst feeling ever. I will win.
I will admit it was a good bounce back from coming in dead last.
I will get that title back. It will not be a fluke. I'm sorry, Kid Limbo, but I will get this title. I will. That's a promise.
Zel, I'm sorry.
Paul Heyman's still right.
I gotta say this. You have failed this podcast. And I hope whoever's watching gets the reference.
I have failed this podcast.
But in all... You have failed these viewers. You have failed this city.
I am the heart and soul of this podcast. This podcast doesn't run without me.
It does. Just like everything else in the world runs. You can't win this title back. You can't win a prediction. You won one prediction that's one step above what Nell is, who can never win.
And one step behind you.
The man that you hate to be one step behind.
It's okay. We'll see. In about 3 weeks. We'll see.
We will. And once again, it'll be the same effect. At the end, spoiler, not that this is all it is a spoiler. I come out still your predictions champion.
Paul Heyman still isn't wrong. But you're not Paul Heyman. And this... Gotcha, bitch.
That's fine. That... Oh, it looks like that's Nelson's win column.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of this episode. I'm not going on with this anymore.
Respect your king, viewers. I am your king. I am their king.
No king of mine. I don't...
Maybe.
There is no king. I don't have a king. I don't answer to a king. I answer to no one.
You answer to me now.
No.
Until
no way in hell.
you can take my title
In a few weeks, I will.
No, you won't. That's what you said last 3 weeks ago. That's what you said before that.
Before that, I wasn't talking any shit. I was just like, we'll see, guys.
No. Before that, you were saying it was a fluke.
And then you proved it wasn't a fluke.
I did.
No, you didn't. Because before we got to that predictions, Nelson beat you for the title.
And then what happened? He retained it over me in a tie. Because in all reality, I told him. I flat out told him to his face that the only reason he was champion was due to him being a coward and trying to find any opportunity to win that title because he can't do it through the way that title was created, through a prediction.
So apparently the key word in the feud between you two is coward.
Yes, because there's only one real coward there, and it's him. He talks about everyone else being a coward and this and that. That man is forever in the back of the line.
I'm not getting involved in your feud.
You're involved, and so is Kid Limbo now.
You two, argue all you want. I believe the next punishment should be loser has to acknowledge that they're a coward. That'll really set both of you off.
And then you lose.
This is the end, ladies and gentlemen. We have Synyster, in parentheses, coward question mark. We have Nell, who is not here, in parentheses, coward question mark.
And an address.
And we have myself, in parentheses, redemption question mark. All these questions will be answered in due time. And with that being said, we will see you all in the next episode.